Is about the strange addictions of people, and about 5 characters coming together to help talk through their addictions and trying to heal each other. But it kind of goes awry because of how the characters react towards each other and how ridiculous the plot is. So expect a loving comedy.
So we're a bunch of weird people that are like, hey, I need help. Y'all finna mind helping me? So they're like, yeah. So then they all get together, and then, yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff.
One of them, it always is one-upping everyone else, and they're very they're kind of the leader of the group. And then we have the fifth person comes into the room a little later in the film, and we sense some sort of distress between both the characters.
I really thought that the film was kind of about overcoming your past, and that these characters were kind of more than their addictions.
I was playing the character of the one-upper, which is the host of the whole get-together. And I prepared by just kind of thinking how I could, this kind of sounds mean, but how I could, try to make myself feel superior over other people. And it was kind of hard because, that's just a mean thing to do.
I prepared by looking through every item of clothing, costume and non-costume, to make sure that I could find the most appropriate outfit for this character. And luckily enough, I did bring some more formal attire, which was more appropriate for the character, as this character is supposed to be much more impressive than the one-upper, so that way he can't one-up once they show up.
I played the vlogger, aka the streaming addict, aka Awesome Sauce 84. Preparing for this role, well, I don't know, I act on a lot of things, so I'm getting pretty good with just being handed a script and being able to, memorize it. I've got a pretty good memory, and then just act it all at once.
When I found out what role I got, I started looking over what my lines were, and that night, even in the car on my way home, I started looking over my lines, and I think I kind of picked up on it a little bit. I messed up a few times when we were shooting, but I had the basis of the lines, and I think I did pretty well with that.
I was the singer, and it was literally, the preparation was just sitting on my bed and singing it over and over again. Probably the biggest challenge was me trying to find a tune for my song, because they just gave me lyrics, so I pretty much just sang random notes and put them all together.
I played the Debbie Downer and the Hugger, and I prepared by mostly looking over my lines. I did some thinking about how would this person feel.
I walk in, I'm supposed to look like a supermodel, and then I walk out. So you would think it would be relatively easy to prepare for, but it wasn't, because I had to walk a certain way. I had to become a model. I had to wear various amounts of makeup, which really hurt my face afterwards. But all in all, it was a great experience, and I feel like my character definitely adds to the film and its lovable comedy.
Yes, I did, as a minor character, as a weird person who makes out with a pole. I didn't really prepare for it, seeing as though I don't really know how to prepare to make out with a wooden telephone pole, but I tried my best.
So I directed a majority of the meeting room scene, which is probably I would say the biggest scene. I prepared by just kind of planning out shots and talking to the actors and kind of preparing them for when we direct this, we got to go fast because we were very close on time. Those are the very big things.
I kind of prepared for my scene, so I had the scene right before the musical, and I kind of prepared on making a smooth transition to the musical, so yeah.
I was in charge of the second scene, which is in the living room, and so the vlogger character was the star of this scene. To prepare for it, I just, I knew what the set was gonna generally look like, and so I just thought what I could do with that, and I knew that I could start out with an establishing shot and then move farther in with each camera angle.
I directed the dance scene with the singer, and I prepared just basically Well, Joe helped me out as well. He was the lighting guy, and he had like lasers and stuff. It was dark and he had fog. I just basically just told them like, just do what you need to do when you like dance, and that was basically it.
I did direct just like a couple shots. It was in front of a vending machine with the hugger, and preparing. Well, it wasn't that hard really because it was only a 1-second clip that I did. We just pretty much set up the camera. I thought of one cool motion we could do and the way they would do it, and the actors did it, and it turned out great. It was just fine.
I directed a scene with the hugger where they are watching the movie with their friends at their house. I prepared by, there wasn't actually much preparation time. It was early in the morning, and I mainly looked for help from more people who had experience with lighting and cameras.
Because if it wasn't, then the climax would barely be there in terms of cinematic and cinematography. So how I prepared was I talked to everyone that was also in the same setting, and we grouped together. We talked about the type of flow we wanted and what we wanted the room to represent. And then on my own time, I drew pictures of each scene I wanted to do and described how I wanted them to be shot.
Well, I kind of just visualized what I kind of wanted, and I kind of just communicated that with the camera guy, and then we kind of just got some shots, and I liked how it ended up.
I directed the last scene with the car and the guys, and my preparation was just getting the box so I could actually see through the camera, and just telling the guys to look cool.
Well, I directed it the same scene that I was in. I didn't really prepare for it, but yeah, I didn't prepare for it.
I think some of the biggest challenges was really time. Our film was kind of like just cramped together, and really getting those last couple of shots in was definitely a struggle, but we pulled it off.
You don't really meet many other people in my area who are interested in film, so it's nice to meet other people with a common interest, and we've already started talking about hanging out in the future to make more films, so that's exciting.
But now that I came to the camp, I got to meet people who are actors and meet people who like to work with cameras and sound and all that kind of stuff to be put into a short film.
The hands-on stuff, like being able to use the camera, know how to use that stuff, talking to people who've worked in the industry and know what's going on.
And we got a ton more experience. I got to work with actual cameras. There was sound, lighting on a set, all that stuff, and that was a lot of fun.